To the one who feels unseen, unheard, and barely holding on, these words are for you. Hold on, because your strength is about to be renewed. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your rise. Today, we break through fear, doubt, and the overwhelming weight of life's struggles. This moment is yours. Take it, own it, and walk boldly toward your victory. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation that felt too much to handle? A setback so overwhelming it felt like the ground beneath you was crumbling. If that resonates, you're not alone. Life throws its curveballs at us all. And in those moments, the question isn't, why me? But rather, how will I rise? Here's the truth. Trusting God is your anchor, especially when the storm feels relentless. Trust isn't just a comfortable phrase we use when things are easy. It's a lifeline, a decision to believe when nothing makes sense. Trust is the bridge that carries you from struggle to breakthrough. When life gets tough, fear loves to scream, "It's over." Doubt whispers, "You can't do this." But trust in God speaks louder. This is not your final destination. Trust is a deliberate action. It's not passive wishing or denial of your struggles. Instead, it's about taking bold steps forward, even when you can't see the whole staircase. It's praying with purpose, preparing with determination, believing with courage, and building with faith. Think of your life as a grand masterpiece. Right now, you may only see a single puzzle piece, jagged and odd-shaped, seemingly meaningless on its own. But trust reminds you there's a bigger picture being crafted. God sees the whole masterpiece, and every piece, even the one in your hand, has a purpose. Trust is not about inaction. It's about aligning your steps with your faith. You may not control the waves, but you can choose to anchor your ship. Consider this. A man loses his job, his savings, and almost everything else. He could have given in to despair. Instead, he trusted God's plan, using his time to grow, learn, and prepare. Months later, he didn't just find a job. He stepped into a calling perfectly aligned with his gifts. That's the power of trust. It transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Every challenge feels like a canyon, daunting, impossible to cross. Fear paralyzes you at the edge, but trust is the bridge. It doesn't remove the canyon, but it provides a way forward. Step by step, trust carries you closer to your breakthrough. Trust thrives in the unknown. It's easy to believe when everything is clear, but real trust grows in the dark when the outcome is uncertain. It's like a seed buried in soil. Though unseen, growth is happening, roots are forming, and soon it will break through the ground. Your struggles are the soil, and trust is the force that nurtures your growth. Trust requires surrender, not of action, but of control. When you release the illusion of control, you make space for divine power to work. Surrendering isn't weakness, it's strength. It means saying, "I'll take the steps I can and leave the results in God's hands." As you trust, you'll begin to see the evidence of God's faithfulness in your life. Each breakthrough is a reminder of His unwavering presence, reinforcing your belief that He will carry you through again and again. Trust builds resilience, turning doubt into determination and fear into boldness. Trust is not a one-time act, it's a daily choice. Every morning you decide to say, "I don't have all the answers, but I know the one who does." It's about showing up, taking the next step, and letting God handle the rest. Speak it out loud. I will trust God in every situation. Say it until it becomes a declaration your heart believes. When you leave today, walk with trust. Face the challenges with boldness. Your setbacks are not the end. They're the setup for a remarkable comeback. The story God is writing for you is so much bigger than the chapter you're in now. Trust Him and watch your life transform. To every heart battered by the storms of life, listen closely. The winds may rage and the waves may crash, but they cannot break what is anchored in faith. Today, we uncover the unstoppable force within you, the power to rise, the courage to trust, and the resilience to overcome. Your storm is not your end. It is the proving ground for your strength. Faith isn't a one-time declaration. It's a daily commitment. It's the choice to believe, even when circumstances try to shake you. Faith is the reminder that your struggles do not define you. They are part of the journey, a stepping stone toward something greater. Faith equips you with resilience, empowering you to face challenges with courage and to move forward even when the path is unclear. When you choose faith, you align with the truth that God is always at work on your behalf. Trust may not reveal its results immediately, but it assures you that every struggle has a purpose, every delay has meaning, and every breakthrough is drawing near. Faith isn't static. It's a living, dynamic force that requires action. When everything in life feels stable, faith might seem effortless. But when storm clouds gather and uncertainty blows in like an unrelenting wind, true faith is tested. It calls you to step beyond your comfort zone and move into the unknown, trusting that God's hand will guide you. Think of Abraham, who left everything familiar, his home, his family, his security, because God called him to a promise he couldn't yet see. Abraham's faith wasn't passive. He didn't wait for clarity or guarantees. Instead, he stepped out in trust, embodying faith in action. Peter's story of walking on water is another testament to the power of active faith. In the middle of a raging storm, Peter asked Jesus to call him out of the boat. For a moment, he defied nature itself, walking on water by the strength of his faith. But as soon as his focus shifted to the storm around him, doubt crept in, and he began to sink. This illustrates a powerful truth. Faith thrives when our eyes are fixed on God, but it falters when we let fear dictate our actions. Faith requires focus. It calls you to keep your gaze on the one who controls the storm, not on the chaos swirling around you. The moment you allow fear and doubt to dominate your thoughts, you lose the foundation that faith provides. Active faith declares, I will move forward, even when the path is unclear, because I trust God's promises more than my circumstances. Jesus said that faith the size of a mustard seed could move mountains. A mustard seed is small, yet it holds the potential for enormous growth. Faith is the same. It doesn't have to be grand or perfect. It simply has to be acted upon. A tiny seed of faith, when nurtured with trust and action, can grow into mighty results. Your small steps of faith can lead to monumental breakthroughs. Life storms come in many forms: financial difficulties, health crises, broken relationships, or internal battles with fear and anxiety. These storms test our character and resilience. While you cannot control the storm, you can control how you respond to it. Consider the disciples caught in the storm on the sea. As the waves threatened to engulf their boat, they panicked, forgetting that Jesus, the Son of God, was with them. Meanwhile, Jesus slept peacefully, unshaken by the chaos. When they woke him, his words were both calming and convicting. Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? This story teaches a profound lesson. Storms may rage, but they do not dictate the outcome. Faith, anchored in God's unshakable promises, shifts your focus from the problem to the solution. It reminds you that no storm is greater than the one who controls it. Faith doesn't eliminate life's challenges, but it changes how you experience them. It anchors you in peace amidst the chaos. Psalm 46:1 says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. This verse doesn't promise a life free from storms. It assures you that God is present in every storm, ready to guide and sustain you. When storms hit, gratitude becomes a powerful tool, shifting your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude reminds you of the blessings that remain even in hard times. It grounds you in the truth that no storm lasts forever. Gratitude whispers, "This too shall pass," encouraging you to endure with hope and strength. Every storm is an opportunity to build resilience. It's not about avoiding challenges, but learning to navigate them with grace and courage. Resilience is the ability to rise again, stronger and more confident, knowing that every setback is a setup for growth. Faith and resilience go hand in hand. Together, they enable you to weather life's storms, not with fear, but with determination. When you step out in faith, you align your actions with God's promises, activating the power to overcome. Each storm you endure becomes a testament to God's faithfulness and a stepping stone to your victory. Faith is not passive. It's the action that fuels the promise. It's the courage to step out of the boat, walk on water, and move forward, even when the waves are high and the winds are fierce. Trust in God doesn't mean you'll avoid the storm, but it guarantees you'll weather it, coming out stronger on the other side. Keep your eyes on Him, take action on your faith, and watch how He turns your storms into stories of triumph. To those weathering life's storms, this is your reminder. You are not defined by the tempest, but by your response to it. When the winds rage and the waves rise, know this: faith is your anchor, your compass, and your unshakable strength. Today, we uncover the true essence of faith and why it is the foundation upon which you can build a life of purpose, resilience, and triumph. At the end of the day, it is not the storm that shapes your destiny, but how you respond to it. Life will inevitably throw its challenges, but the power lies in your ability to choose faith over fear, gratitude over complaint, and trust over worry. It is in these choices that you position yourself not just to survive the storm, but to rise above it, stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Faith reminds us that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our own expectations. In a world obsessed with instant results, the waiting can feel unbearable. Yet it is in this waiting that God does His greatest work. The story of Abraham and Sarah is a testament to this truth. Though they doubted and grew impatient, God fulfilled His promise in His time, not theirs, showing that delays are not denials. They are preparation for something greater. Faith is not a one-time declaration. It's a daily decision. It's the choice to believe in what you cannot see, to trust in what you cannot control, and to hold on to the promise that every struggle has a purpose. When Joseph endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment, he didn't know how his story would end, but his faith anchored him. In hindsight, he saw that every hardship was part of God's greater plan to save lives. Faith invites you to see beyond the immediate storm and trust that every piece of your journey is aligning for a purpose far beyond your understanding. It asks you to surrender your need for control and trust the one who holds the universe in His hands. Prayer is the lifeline that sustains faith. It shifts your focus from the size of the storm to the infinite power of God. It is not about eloquent words, but about an honest, raw connection with your Creator. In prayer, you find clarity in confusion, peace in chaos, and strength in weakness. The Bible reminds us in Philippians 4:6-7, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Prayer is not a desperate plea. It is an act of surrender, a declaration that you trust God to lead you through the storm. How you respond to life's challenges defines your character. You cannot control the external forces, but you can choose to anchor yourself in faith. When Jesus calmed the storm for His disciples, He also asked them, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The lesson wasn't about avoiding the storm, but learning to trust in the presence of God amidst it. Faith doesn't ignore the storm. It acknowledges its reality while proclaiming that God's power is greater. Gratitude and prayer become tools to focus on God's blessings rather than the storm's chaos. Resilience is built not in the absence of trials, but in enduring them with grace, guided by faith. Waiting is one of faith's greatest tests. Yet, God's delays are not denials. They are His preparation. Whether it's Abraham's promised child, Joseph's rise to power, or the Israelites' journey to the promised land, every delay held lessons, refinement, and preparation for something greater. Faith is trusting that God's timeline is perfect, even when it feels unbearably slow. Isaiah 40:31 declares, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This verse reminds us that patience in faith brings renewed strength and eventual triumph. So, what is faith? Faith is not passive optimism. It is not blind hope. It is the deliberate act of trusting in God's promises, even when you can't see the outcome. Faith is stepping out of the boat like Peter, keeping your eyes fixed on Jesus despite the raging waves. It is planting the mustard seed of belief and acting on it, knowing it will grow into something extraordinary. Faith is choosing to pray, to surrender, and to trust that God is working behind the scenes for your good. Faith transforms how you view life's storms. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, you recognize them as opportunities for growth, for refining your character, and for drawing closer to God. Faith teaches you that while you cannot control the storm, you can control your response. And it is your response, rooted in faith, that defines your journey. Faith is the bridge between fear and freedom, between doubt and breakthrough. It is the daily choice to believe in God's goodness, His timing, and His promises. When you are faced with storms, remember this: you are not defined by the winds that blow against you, but by the strength of your anchor, your faith. Carry this truth with you. God is faithful. His plans are greater than your imagination. His timing is perfect, and His love is unchanging. So step forward with confidence, anchored in faith, and watch as God turns your storms into stories of triumph.
Help us grow our faith-based Christian channel by subscribing, and don't forget to like and share to spread the message.